ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is leading the ANC's voter registration drive in Hammanskraal. Yesterday, some residents of Majaneng in Hammanskraal who were devastated by a cholera outbreak which claimed the lives of 29 people in the area this year said government had failed them. Let's bring in SABC News reporter Samgele Masego, who's on standby to chat to us right now, as well as just give us a version of what's happening there, because we understand the president is now speaking. Let's take you there live.
Register to vote, and also those who are not yet registered, particularly the young ones, to demonstrate that they are ready and prepared to take their own future into their own hands by registering and by participating in the election process that's going to take place next year. So 2024 is going to be an important year, and it's going to be as important as all the other elections that we have had, because that's when we enrich our democracy, we make our democracy more complete. We are still a young democracy, only 30 years. Next year it will be. Many other democracies are 500 years, 1,000 years. So we must nurture and look after our democracy, because this is the best bet we've got to secure a better future for those who are here in the country now, those who will come when we are all gone, to ensure that South Africa becomes the beacon, the real beacon of democracy in the world. 1994, we showed the world that we are really the repository of good democratic practice, and we can do so once again by going to the polls in 2024 and to vote as South Africans for whoever we want to vote for, so that our country can move forward. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Nkosinathi. We start with Nkosinathi Shazi.
Nkosinathi Shazi, Power FM News. Mr. President, now the election season has gone underway. It is part of voter registration. We are in Hammanskraal, where we had a tragedy in which more than 30 people died due to water issues. We campaigned Izol in Midlands and in Katlehong, and a number of people are saying, as much as we will go out there and vote, political parties are coming in and trying to score from us and say that after the elections they forget about this and their day goes on. So what is your response to that, sir, especially considering that we are in Hammanskraal, where we had that tragedy in which more than 30 people died?
Well, there have been weaknesses, which we've all admitted. Weaknesses in service delivery, but those weaknesses have been identified, where they originate from and what causes them. And we are now correcting those weaknesses. For instance, water is a big issue here. And when I came a few weeks ago, we had identified what the problem was, and we immediately went to the root cause, and National has now intervened, because it was the task of the local government. We've intervened, and we are now going to deliver clean water to our people in this area. And when I explained to them, they understood. And soon we will be having cleaner water. Now, they also complained about sewage and refuse removal. And we had a strike in Tshwane that debilitated the provision of services here. And now that strike is over, and we are now going to have better services delivered. So yes, there are those ups and downs, and we want to make sure that there are more ups than downs. But these are problems that we continue to address on an ongoing basis.
President, on the issues pertaining to some of your ministers, there's been reports around the Minister of Labour, Thula Sinqisi. Just this morning, there's a newspaper article yet again involving him in graft of about 3.5 billion rands, tender irregularities allegedly. There's that allegation of that 500 million rands bribe. What action have you taken as the President of the Republic? And we're told by the SG that those ministers, and in particular the Minister of Labour, would be called before the ANC officials to explain this UIF tender scandal. Where do you sit as the President of the Republic, and what action have you taken?
Well, accountability is a big issue, and when things go wrong, they need to be explained. When issues like these happen, we should not rely on hearsay. We should rely on proper evidence, because we do live in an environment where anybody can stand up and say anything about anyone. That having been said, we then need to go to the root cause and say precisely what is happening. And that is what is presently unfolding. We are looking at everything that has been said, reported, and we're grateful that we have a very robust media that reports on these issues, but we must also be able to follow those things up. And where there is a sense of truth in these matters, we will take action. So that is the nature of our democracy, and we must allow those processes to unfold. Thank you. Now I want him to ask a question. This guy should be at school.
Mr. President, people here are reluctant to come and register to vote, mainly because of issues of service delivery. In Hammanskraal, because of the tragedy that happened, when exactly are they going to get water, reliable water in Hammanskraal? How do you promise people that you are rectifying when there is no action on the ground? Well, as I did say earlier, this matter of water is being addressed. Sorry to touch you. It is being addressed. We have now escalated it to the national level. At the national level, the Department of Water and Sanitation is attending to the matter. It used to be left for attendance at the local government level because that is their area of responsibility. Legally, in terms of our framework, we're now saying it should be escalated to the national level, and I've directed the minister and his department to do it. And now, as we speak now, work is being done. And the people of Hammanskraal are going to get clean water.
When are you going back to the Kiani Water Project, Mr. President?
I'll be going back very gladly because work is being done there. Water is now being reticulated into a number of villages. There were 25 villages that needed water. I went to Nandoni and I saw the pipes, I saw the water being opened. And so I will be going because that I've made one of the important projects that should be on my radar screen. So I will be going there again. Thank you.
That is the president of... Just one question.
Yes.
The residents here raised an issue about the Babelegi Industrial Center.
Yes.
What is the ANC's plan to revive industrial areas in the former homelands?
Well, if you have listened carefully to what the Premier has been saying, we have a clear plan about the township economy. And part of it is to ensure that those nodal areas, like where we had industrial parks and where we are setting up economic zones, the government should facilitate investments, should attract investments, and should also ensure that where there's a need to provide subsidies and assistance, we should do so. So we will be focusing on that, and our job creation project is going to encompass all that. So we are on the job. We are making a number of projects come alive. So that's one of them, because we know that job creation is a massive challenge. And as you will have seen, we're continuing to create jobs on an ongoing basis. And of course, many economies don't succeed to create 2 million jobs, 3 million jobs, 5 million jobs, because it's very hard to create jobs, but incrementally, jobs are being created in our marketplace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Thank you very much.
That is the President of the Republic of South Africa and President of the ANC, essentially speaking on his campaign here in Hammanskraal on the water provision. Remember that tragedy that took place in this area where residents of Hammanskraal lost their lives due to the water that was not of good quality that was being provided to the people of Hamansakraal, and also issues of service delivery in this specific municipality of Tshwane. The president saying that service delivery was heavily affected by the strike that took place by the municipal workers union in this specific municipality, and also speaking about how they will be providing services, better services to the people of Hamansakraal in this specific area. As you can see, the economic freedom fighters, they are here. Have you guys registered to vote?
Yes, I registered to vote.
Are you a first-time voter?
No, it's not first time.
So how did you feel with the president of the ANC walking the streets of Hammanskraal, going to greet you in your specific table? those residents of Hammanskraal to register to vote?
Ish. I can say ish.
Abuti ya re bolela ka sona re na re ma EFF ba mo Hammanskraal kanana re mo tlo bona hore ho iralang ha ho iraleng a ke rena re lebelletse taba hore rena re nyaka di vote tsa rena di tsamaye ka tello ahe ke lebohela setjhaba sa ka sa EFF hore se felle mo and then ba tshware
Thank you very much. Those are those who belong to the economic freedom fighters, whom are essentially out here campaigning for their own organization. The president of the ANC, the president of the Republic, he was also here to gather the residents of Hammanskraal to Carlton, which is the community that has largely been affected by poor service delivery, and particularly when it comes to water provision.